Barron is not your son." The sentence landed without warning, cutting through the tension of the room with absolute clarity. For a brief moment, there was no movement, no response, only silence. Then the reaction came all at once. Gasps spread across the audience, followed by confusion and disbelief. In front of a stunned crowd, everything changed instantly. The atmosphere shifted from controlled debate to something far more intense. Donald Trump had been leading the exchange confidently just seconds earlier, but that control was now visibly shaken. Trump thought he had control. Until this happened, the sudden reversal raised immediate questions. Why had Barack Obama remained silent for so long? What evidence could justify such a direct claim? The weight of the moment settled across the room. Every individual present focused on the two men at the center. The shift was undeniable. But what led to that moment made it even more unbelievable. The event was the National Leadership Summit, a high-profile gathering positioned as a formal discussion between two former presidents. It had been promoted heavily as the rematch of the century, drawing widespread attention. The hall was filled with political observers, media representatives, and invited guests. The stakes were high, not only because of the participants, but also because of the tension that had been building for weeks. Donald Trump had publicly criticized Barack Obama multiple times leading up to the event. Obama, in contrast, had remained silent. This contrast defined the tone of the evening. This wasn't just a debate, it was a confrontation. Trump entered with visible confidence, while Obama maintained a calm and still presence. Trump took control immediately. His opening remarks were direct and aggressive. He pointed toward Obama and stated, "You're not fit for this stage." He continued by questioning Obama's decisions during his presidency, challenging his legacy and effectiveness. The criticism extended beyond policy into personal territory. Trump referenced Obama's relevance, suggesting he no longer belonged in current leadership discussions. His tone was assertive and uninterrupted. The remarks came in quick succession, creating a sustained attack. The audience reacted with mixed responses, including discomfort and surprise. Trump concluded this segment with a direct challenge: "Prove you still deserve to stand on this stage." At this point, he appeared fully in control of the exchange. Throughout this extended criticism, Barack Obama did not respond. He stood still, maintaining a neutral expression. His posture remained steady, with no visible reaction to the statements directed at him. At one moment, his hand tightened briefly, a subtle sign of restraint, but it did not develop into any outward response. Trump's confidence initially remained intact, but as the silence continued, his tone began to shift. He laughed briefly and asked, "Cat, got your tongue?" The laughter sounded forced rather than natural. The absence of engagement from Obama altered the rhythm of the exchange. The silence started to work against Trump. The longer it continued, the more noticeable it became. The turning point came when Obama stepped forward. His movement was deliberate and controlled. He spoke in a calm tone, without raising his voice. Then he delivered the statement, "Barron is not your son." The reaction was immediate. The audience responded with shock, and the silence that followed was intense. Obama continued, adding, "And everyone in this room already suspected it." The combination of these statements created an immediate shift in the dynamic of the exchange. Immediate power shift became evident as attention moved entirely toward Obama. Trump reacted quickly and forcefully. He raised his voice and responded, "Lies. Total nonsense." His tone was louder and more urgent than before. He attempted to dismiss the claim while reasserting control. However, the composure he displayed earlier was no longer present. Obama remained calm and continued speaking. He referenced past remarks involving Ivanka Trump, adding another layer to the exchange. The contrast between the two figures became more pronounced. Obama then introduced a reference to a 2016 private meeting. Quoting Trump's statement, "Sometimes you have to do things for the family that aren't pretty, but they get the job done." The reference added specificity to his argument. The audience reacted with increased attention, and whispers spread throughout the room. Trump responded with visible frustration, raising his voice further and demanding that Obama stop speaking. The intensity of the confrontation increased significantly. The situation escalated when Trump turned toward security and shouted, "Get him off the stage." The command reflected a loss of control. However, security personnel did not immediately act. The audience had already begun recording the exchange, and the moment continued uninterrupted. Authority slipping became evident as Trump's command failed to produce the intended result. Obama then called a witness to the stage. A woman, identified as Sarah, described as a former assistant within Trump's circle, approached the microphone. She held a letter and began reading aloud. "I can't keep lying about Barron anymore." The statement drew immediate reactions from the audience. She continued, explaining that the situation had been ongoing and that she could no longer remain silent. The testimony added a new dimension to the unfolding exchange. As Sarah spoke, Trump moved toward her, attempting to interrupt. He reached for the microphone, but Obama stepped forward and intervened. He blocked Trump's movement and held his wrist briefly, preventing him from taking the microphone. The moment created a physical pause in the confrontation. Obama then stated clearly, "You started this war of lies, Donald. Now I finish it." The statement reinforced his position and maintained control of the situation. Obama then introduced a sealed envelope, stating that it contained verified DNA results. He opened it and read the contents aloud, declaring, "The real father is Peter Brantley." The announcement triggered a strong reaction from the audience. The information introduced a new level of seriousness to the exchange. Trump attempted to seize the document, moving quickly toward Obama. A brief struggle followed, with both individuals attempting to control the paper. Obama maintained his grip and regained control, holding the document securely. Another witness, Dr. Reynolds, was then introduced. He identified himself as a former physician associated with the Trump family. He stated, "I signed the fake birth records in 2006 on Mr. Trump's direct orders." He continued, explaining, "I was told to make it look real." The statement added further weight to the claims already presented. Trump attempted to counter by presenting an audio recording, suggesting it implicated Obama. He played the clip, but Obama responded immediately. He introduced a second recording, stating it was the original version. The audio featured Trump's voice, saying, "Barack, you got to help me bury this family thing. Make it go away. I'll owe you big." The clarity of the recording shifted attention back toward Obama's position. As the exchange continued, Trump's behavior changed noticeably. His movements slowed, and his voice lost its earlier intensity. He dropped to one knee and stated, "Don't do this, Barack, please." The room reacted with silence, reflecting the unexpected nature of the moment. Obama then introduced a final piece of evidence, a video recording from 2015. In the recording, Ivanka Trump stated, "Barron is not my father's son." The statement reinforced the claims presented earlier. The reaction from the audience was immediate and intense. Obama concluded his remarks by stating, "You destroyed it, not me." He then added that all materials would be submitted to the FBI, stating, "I'm turning over every file, every video, every document to the FBI tonight." The statement marked the conclusion of his argument. Trump returned to his seat and remained silent. His earlier confidence was no longer visible. The audience reaction was divided, with some expressing approval and others reacting with disbelief. The exchange had reached its conclusion. Obama turned and walked toward the exit. Before leaving, he stated, "Tomorrow morning, the world will know." The statement remained in the air as he exited. The interaction ended with a clear shift in control. The narrative had completely flipped.